What's up there, my Bible zealots? This is Joshua coming at you today. Hey, what's up? So, I had a cool conversation with a friend of mine, atheist, cool guy, and we were discussing how I don't really think I think that fiction is idolatry, and we had this massive discussion, massive talk about it, and it was pretty interesting. However, he was never really on board, and he came up with an interesting distinction, which I wanted to share with you today. And he says, "Well, because I believe that if you think about anything other than God, if you dwell on fiction, it is considered idolatry." And he was like, "So you can't think about anything but things that are reality?" I'm like, "Well, no, because there's this concept called the parable that Jesus Christ talks about. He talks about in theoreticals, but those theoreticals are based in reality." So he kept going back and he's like, "Well, that's just a lie. It's not really real." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you can focus." And so we got into this huge debate. And he forced me to make a definition that is an important distinction. Okay. According to the Bible, we can dwell on, because I believe that whatever you dwell on is what you worship, right? If you're dwelling on things that are not true or things that are not righteous, then you are dwelling on evil. So the distinction is this. It's like, okay, so if I'm dwelling, it's not fiction so much as that if you are not dwelling on things that are real, you commit idolatry. Okay, if you're not dwelling on things that are real, you commit idolatry. If you are dwelling on things that are based on reality, but they are not real, then you are not. Okay, so like Jesus Christ gives parables, right? He says, there is a man sowing in the garden. Was there actually a man sowing in the garden? No, there wasn't a man sowing in the garden. But he threw some on the wayside and then on the rocky soil, and then the weedy soil, and then he found the good soil. And these are all hypothetical situations, which are not reality, but they're based in real things. They're using concepts that we understand to help us understand something that we don't understand. Okay, that's metaphor. It's a type of fiction, yes, but it's based in reality. It's not based in fantasy. So, I tell you this, anytime you dwell on something that is not based in reality, but you're dwelling on something that is based on a fantasy, you commit idolatry. And those people that dwell on fantasy are worse than people that commit straight up idolatry. And what I mean by straight up idolatry is you think about the ancient times where there was all those polytheists, where they would think they worship these multitude of these gods in these pantheons, and they worship them and have idols and make sacrifices to them. And the reason they did this is because they were told that was what they should do, and they believed it, and so therefore they committed idolatry. But I say in modern society, people today are worse the sin today is worse when it comes to idolatry, because we know that dwelling on fantasy is a lie, but we do it anyway. And in fact, everybody is making excuses why these things don't apply today. They don't want to admit that they're committing idolatry. But if you dwell on anything that is not based in reality, you commit idolatry. I mean, it's a constant thing. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know the difference between so the person that dwells in fiction or the person that dwells in fantasy is worse because they know it's a lie, but they dwell on it anyway. And the person that is an idolater is better because he has been deceived into believing a lie. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that with you. I thought it was an interesting take on the whole subject, and I just thought that maybe we should all get on this and see how everybody else is thinking on this. I'm Joshua. It's been a pleasure. Check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, whatever, anything. Share, like, subscribe. That'd be cool. I will talk to you later. I love God because I love virtue, justice, and salvation. Peace out. What's up?